You just spent $60 on a full synthetic oil change. Top shelf oil, the right viscosity, changed right on schedule. And then you let a parts store employee hand you a $4 filter and you didn't think twice about it. Here's the problem. That filter is the only thing standing between your freshly changed oil and the metal particles, carbon deposits, and combustion byproducts circulating through your engine. If it loads up too fast, bypasses, or fails to hold oil between starts, none of that premium oil matters. Today I'm cutting open the filters most Americans are running right now and showing you exactly what's inside them. The good, the bad, and the ones that are one long highway trip away from letting your engine circulate unfiltered oil without you ever knowing it. I'll start with the ones to avoid, explain what specifically makes them risky, and finish with the 3 I'd actually put on my own vehicles. Let's get into it. Why the filter matters as much as the oil. Quick primer before the rankings, because this context changes how you think about every filter on this list. Every oil filter has 3 jobs. First, it catches contaminants, metal particles from normal engine wear, carbon from combustion, dirt that made it past the air filter, and holds them in the filter media so they don't circulate back through your bearings and journals. Second, it maintains consistent oil flow so your engine always has pressurized oil available. Third, it holds oil in place between starts through an anti-drainback valve, so the first seconds after ignition aren't a dry start event that causes a disproportionate share of total engine wear. Where cheap filters fail is almost always in one of 2 places. Filter media that saturates too quickly and forces the bypass valve open, sending unfiltered oil through the engine, and anti-drain back valves made from materials that harden over time and let oil drain back into the pan between starts. Keep those 2 failure points in mind as we go through the list. Filters to avoid. 1. Fram Extra Guard. The orange can is the most recognizable oil filter in America. It's on the shelf at every Walmart, AutoZone, and O'Reilly in the country, which is exactly why it deserves honest scrutiny rather than a pass because of familiarity. The Extra Guard line uses cellulose filter media, the standard baseline material, with end caps that are fiberboard rather than stamped metal. Fiberboard functions under normal conditions, but under repeated heat cycles and extended mileage, it's more susceptible to softening and deformation than a metal cap. Filtration efficiency is listed around 95% at 20 microns. That's adequate but not impressive, particularly for modern direct injection engines that generate fine carbon particles which cause slow, cumulative wear when they circulate uncaptured. The anti-drain back valve on many versions is nitrile rubber. Nitrile works but hardens faster than silicone under heat cycling, which means in colder climates, and on engines that sit for more than a day or 2 between starts, there's an increased risk of oil draining back and creating a momentary dry start at ignition. None of this means the Extra Guard destroys engines. It means it was designed for one specific use case: short intervals with conventional oil. If you're changing oil every 3,000 miles and running conventional, it can handle that. If you're stretching intervals, running full synthetic, driving a turbocharged engine, or trying to keep a high-mileage vehicle alive long-term, there are significantly better options at a modest price increase. 2. STP Economy Line. STP has decades of brand recognition from their additive products, but the entry-level filter line is a different story from the familiar red cans. These are built to hit a price point, and construction reflects that priority. The media is basic cellulose without synthetic fiber reinforcement, which limits both filtration efficiency on fine particles and contaminant holding capacity. As the filter media loads with debris, flow restriction increases. When restriction rises high enough, the bypass valve opens and oil routes around the filter entirely, directly through the engine without filtration. That's not a worst-case scenario, that's how every oil filter bypass system is designed to work, and cheap media reaches that point sooner. The canister metal is notably thin compared to mid-tier competitors. Under normal daily driving, that doesn't present a problem. Under the pressure spike of a cold start in January, when oil is thick and the pump is pushing hard, structural rigidity starts to matter. Nitrile anti-drain back valves compound the cold weather concern. These are functional filters for strict short-interval maintenance. They're not suitable for extended intervals or demanding applications. 3. SuperTech Basic Line, Walmart house brand. This one divides people because SuperTech has improved meaningfully over the years. Many versions are now manufactured by reputable OEM suppliers, and the price-to-performance ratio has gotten better. But consistency remains the legitimate concern. Cut open comparisons across different production batches show real variation. Some versions have solid construction with uniform pleat spacing and acceptable media density. Others show uneven pleats, lighter media, and less consistent bonding at the seams. In oil filtration, inconsistency is a real problem because you don't know which version you pulled off the shelf until you open it. Lower media density means lower contaminant holding capacity, which means the bypass valve gets activated more frequently over the filter's service life. Anti-drainback valve material varies by batch. Some versions use silicone, which is better, others use nitrile. For a stock engine on a short interval, the modern SuperTech is serviceable. For extended intervals or a high-mileage engine, the lack of consistency is a risk that costs very little to avoid. 4. Prime Guard. Prime Guard appears across independent part stores, regional chains, and online marketplaces, usually priced below mid-tier options. The first red flag is transparency. Prime Guard publishes minimal detailed performance data compared to established brands, no clear filtration efficiency ratings, no specific micron data. When a filter manufacturer isn't willing to put performance numbers in public, that itself is worth noting. Construction is lightweight, thin canister walls, cellulose media, lower pleat counts than premium competitors. Fewer pleats means less total filter surface area. Less surface area means the media saturates faster and the bypass valve activates sooner. Cut open inspections from independent mechanics consistently show adequate but minimal construction. Nothing failing outright, just very little margin between acceptable performance and bypass mode operation. Nitrile anti-drain back valves are standard. For short intervals in warm climates, Prime Guard functions. For anything beyond basic minimum maintenance, it offers very little protective buffer. 5. DriveWorks, AutoZone house brand. DriveWorks is AutoZone's entry-level house brand, and the value proposition is obvious. Low price, immediate availability, gets the job done in a pinch. The limitation is that gets the job done means meeting minimum OEM replacement standards, not exceeding them. Cellulose media, lower pleat counts, lighter canister construction, nitrile anti-drain back valve, the same pattern as the other budget options, just under a different name. Where DriveWorks specifically falls short is the pairing problem. A lot of drivers use this filter with full synthetic oil and mentally budget for a longer drain interval. The oil can handle longer intervals. The filter cannot. Once the media saturates, the bypass opens, and you're running unfiltered oil through your engine with premium synthetic that can't do much about it because it never passes through a working filter. Filters worth trusting. 1. Wix Filters. Wix is one of the most consistently recommended names in professional service circles, and the reputation is earned rather than marketed. Construction starts with blended cellulose synthetic media, which improves both filtration efficiency on fine particles and total contaminant holding capacity compared to pure cellulose. More capacity means the media loads more slowly, the bypass stays closed longer, and oil circulation stays filtered through more of the interval. Metal end caps, consistent pleat spacing, a sturdy center tube, and silicone anti-drain back valves on most models. Every element is a step above the budget tier. Wix also publishes detailed performance specifications, which matters for making informed decisions. These filters sit in the mid-price range but perform closer to premium. For any driver planning to keep their vehicle past 150,000 miles, Wix offers the margin that budget filters don't. 2. Mobil 1 Extended Performance. If you're running full synthetic oil and stretching your drain interval responsibly, this filter is built to match that application rather than just tag along with it. Dense synthetic blend media, high pleat counts for maximum surface area, heavy gauge canister construction, metal end caps, and silicone anti-drain back valves. Every specification points toward long-interval durability rather than minimum cost. Independent cut-open inspections consistently confirm what Mobil 1 claims on the packaging. The construction is visibly more substantial than mid-tier options. You'll pay more, sometimes noticeably more, but if you're already investing in full synthetic oil and planning an extended interval, pairing it with a filter that can actually hold up for that interval is the only approach that makes sense. A filter that bypasses at 5,000 miles on a 7,500-mile interval defeats the entire purpose of running premium oil. 3. Purolator PureONE/Boss. Purolator has been in the filtration business for over a century and was involved in developing some of the original spin-on filter designs. The premium lines reflect that engineering history. The PureONE and Boss series use synthetic blend or fully synthetic media with high pleat counts, metal end caps, solid center tube construction, and silicone anti-drain back valves. Independent teardown comparisons consistently show uniform construction with minimal batch-to-batch variation. The Boss line is specifically engineered for extended oil change intervals. It's not a standard filter with a different label. If you're on an extended synthetic interval and want a filter that was actually designed for that use case, the Purolator Boss is one of the most straightforward answers on the market. The math that makes this simple. The price difference between the cheapest filter on this list and the best one is about $12. A timing chain replacement on a modern turbocharged 4-cylinder runs $1,500 to $3,000. A bearing replacement on a worn engine can exceed the value of the vehicle. The filter is the smallest line item in any oil change and the one that protects every other investment you make in the engine. Buy the oil that matches your engine specification. Change it on the right interval for your driving conditions. And put a filter on it that can actually do the job for the full length of that interval. Everything else is just driving. The filter you grabbed off the shelf this morning might be fine. Or it might be bypassing right now on mile 6,000 of a 7,500-mile interval because the media saturated 2,000 miles ago. You won't know until the engine tells you, and by then, the wear has already happened. Now you know what to look for. Drop a like if this changed how you think about your next oil change, subscribe for more breakdowns like this one, and tell me in the comments what filter you're running and how many miles are on the engine. I read every one. See you in the next video.